I am Ellyn Mayer, and this is my husband, Jess Mayer. We are the parents of Samantha Mayer, and I will be reading Samantha's words verbatim today, as she could not be here. My name is Samantha Mayer, and I am one of the 17 people who were injured during the Stoneman Douglas shooting. The reason I have decided to speak today is not only to share my story, but to share the actual long-term effects of gun violence as a survivor of it. I hope to bring awareness to some parts of a shooting that might be overlooked. I was sitting in my 4th period classroom, waiting to go home to see the flowers that were sent to me for Valentine's Day, and instead, I found myself in an ambulance being transported to the hospital with a gunshot wound through my knee. That gunshot wound stays with me today and for the rest of my life in the form of 3 scars on my left kneecap. The gunshot actually stays with me in many ways beyond what is physical. It reminds me of the most fearful day of my life when I was laying on the floor, unable to move, and terrified to speak. I remember accepting my death at that moment and reminding myself that my friends and family know that I love them. It reminds me of when I begged my classmates not to open the door for the policeman because I couldn't see what was happening and I feared more danger. It reminds me of when I asked a member of SWAT to text my mom because I didn't have the time to grab my phone to tell her that I was alive. Beyond the trauma of that day that replays in my head, I've come to realize that I find trauma in my day-to-day life as a result of the shooting. I am now afraid of tight spaces because if something were to happen, I would not be able to escape. I also look for the closest exit in every room I walk into because I just need to know where it is. I turn around whenever I hear a noise because I need to know what that noise was to put my mind at ease. And yes, I mean every noise. My heart also drops every time I hear a loud noise, and I am transported into a state of pure terror because I am so terrified to be in another shooting. I bet that doesn't happen to most people. I've learned that the beginning of every year brings a lot of heartache for me as I wait through January and half of February for the anniversary of when I saw death before my eyes. Carmen, I think about you every day, and it never hurts less. Beyond the struggles I have in my life currently, I have fears for my future. I fear that sending my children to school one day will be one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I fear, against all odds, that there is a possibility of him being released one day. I fear so many things that I can't write them all on paper because the thought is too painful. To other gun violence survivors who may be listening, I would like to commend your strength. I know your journey hasn't been easy. The jury had to endure this trial for 6 months, but I have to live with this outcome for the entirety of my life. For my community, my family, and myself, I feel devastated. Justice has not been served. Now we all have to breathe the same air of someone who wanted us to never take another breath. Thank you.
Thank you.